What's going on, everyone? This is Mitch. I hope you all have had a great day. We're going to talk about this video, but potentially, well, it's likely to be a record-breaking cold day tomorrow. And like I said in the video yesterday, it's not necessarily going to be freezing when you wake up in the Carolinas and Georgia. It's what's going to occur throughout the day that's what's really impressive and just downright chilly. We're probably going to start out in the 60s, maybe upper 50s for a lot of people in the Carolinas, and the temperatures are going to drop all day as basically you have a cold air damming event, a CAD or a wedge, some people call it a backdoor cold front. It's going to settle in and bring in drier air, not technically dry air because it's going to be raining, so I know that kind of offsets what I'm saying, but it's basically going to bring in a whole different air mass from the northeast. The winds are going to shift overnight, and we're going to get much cooler air, and along with basically a low pressure that's going to be riding east into the area, into the southeast, we're going to have rain along with that cool air. So you're going to have rain-cooled air. So basically where it's raining, it's going to be much cooler than areas where it's not. So that's what we're going to talk about here. If you guys have not subscribed, definitely consider subscribing, like the video if you like it. Thank you all for the continued support. So let's go on and diving into this. We're going to just look at the H-strip-water model. There really isn't a whole lot to look at, but I'm going to give you an idea of what's going to occur tomorrow and why it's going to occur. Kind of already told y'all in the beginning, but here it is. This is pretty much right now. As we get into the overnight hours, check it out. You got let's get around the midnight time frame, which is right now. This is around midnight. You already got temperatures just in the low 60s. It's pretty mild for this time of the year in May. It's not uncommon. But check out up here as you have cooler air that kind of begins to filter in from the northeast. Winds begin to shift out of the northeast, and you basically have a cold air damming event. And what that means is it happens all the time. Really, it can happen any time of the year. You don't see it as much in really June, July, or August, and September much. You can see it any time of the year, but you see it the most definitely in the winter, fall, and springtime. So you're getting into around where the sun's coming up, and notice the temperatures are dropping like they always do in the mornings. But check out as you get later in the morning, you're starting to get closer to the afternoon. Look at the temperatures. They're just dropping as you get later in the day. This is getting into the afternoon hours. Look at the temperatures just dropping more and more. And you notice it looks kind of weird. You have this blob of blue, this cooler air in this area, and you're wondering, well, why is it warmer in Virginia and Tennessee, areas in Kentucky and West Virginia? Well, it's because it's not raining up there. So yes, they're getting, like, Virginia's getting influenced by this wedge, but it's not raining. So it's in the 60s, which is pretty chilly even up there for the middle of May for high temperatures. But it's not raining in this area. So basically, it's not enhancing the cool down, if that makes any sense. You know, in a thunderstorm, you get in the summer, it's 90 degrees. And then when it rains, it cools it down. The storm hits, it cools it down immediately to the low 70s in the summertime in the southeast. It's kind of like this. You already have a cooler air mass in place. The dew points are lower. It causes your temperatures to drop even more. So tomorrow, you're going to wake up to rain. You're going to wake up and be like, well, dang, I thought they said it was going to be chilly today. The thing is the temperatures are going to drop all day. So like I said, this is around the morning hours. You're waking up in the 50s from a lot of the Carolinas and even Virginia. Heck, and even in the lower areas of South Carolina, you might wake up to a 70 degrees. And you're like, well, dang, it's humid. It's definitely not cool. But check out, like I said, the temperatures are going to drop all day. Even areas in the far southern tip of South Carolina and into northeast Georgia, especially where the CAD influence is the most prevalent for sure. It's just going to be crazy. Honestly, I can't recall really in my lifetime or really any time recently that I can remember, and just in the last decade, of this happening in the middle of May like this, where the temperatures actually drop. We get cold air damming that occurs in May, but it definitely doesn't normally combine with a low pressure that throws in rain and cools the temperatures down throughout the day. It's very impressive. In fact, if you're going to work, say if you're leaving work tomorrow, you get off at 5, it very well might be in the upper 40s in some areas of the Carolinas. And these models are really liking this area from Midlands north up to Charlotte into the Sandhills of North Carolina, where kind of the heavier rain is still falling and the cold air damming is still reinforcing itself. So if you're wondering about the rain, how much rain we could get, wish I would have had this pulled up, but I didn't. But I'll show you a radar simulation off the 8 long range HRRR model. We're getting, first off, there's an area out of Georgia that actually could throw in some storms. In fact, there's been some severe storms in Georgia and South Carolina this afternoon and evening that honestly has caught a lot of people off guard. They went severe warning. They had a lot of hail in them. They're starting to move on out, but there's an area in Georgia and kind of the central southern Georgia where some heavy rain that really could keep going and remain intact as it gets into the Carolinas. So there might be some heavy rain and storms as you're sleeping tonight here, especially in South Carolina. But really, that gets out of here, and more of just a consistent heavy, moderate to heavy rainfall moves in as you're waking up tomorrow in Atlanta all the way to Columbia up to Charlotte. Notice this little area in blue right here, the very highest peaks. They see a burst of snow. Very crazy situation, but even though it's going to be very cold and dreary, it's going to feel like a fall day, a late fall day tomorrow. A lot of areas are going to get a lot of beneficial rain. It seems like we get our rain and kind of just pulses. It doesn't really, we're not getting any kind of consistent rain right now. We got a good bit last week with the storms around this time of last week, but not everybody got it actually, The storms were very pulse in nature. But tomorrow is going to be a widespread rain for Georgia, for South Carolina, and most of North Carolina. I think most of North Carolina will see rain. We'll see how far north this precipitation gets if you live in Virginia. But this is why it's going to be the coolest, is because you have cold air damming in here, and basically you have the heaviest precipitation right in here. So they kind of combine together to make for a chilly, raw, damp May day, mid-May day. It's incredible. So I'll kind of show you what's going on here and what it looks like off dew points. These are dew points, not temperatures, guys. Notice these little bars right here. So these are wind bars right here, basically. And you notice they're kind of pointing this way. Well, that's showing winds out the northeast. So check it out. As we get into overnight, the winds begin to shift. Basically, they begin to shift from the north to northeast pretty much. And here they go. The shift occurs overnight. Temperatures begin to drop throughout the night. And I'd say what the GFS has basically a cold air damming event in the entire Carolinas and northeast Georgia. So it's going to be downright chilly tomorrow. Don't let it shock you. Definitely don't dress like it's May tomorrow for sure. The temperatures are going to drop all day from the Carolinas and northeast Georgia. So be expecting that. And definitely try to stay warm. But that's all I got. Hope you guys have a great night. Thanks for tuning in.